Hello and welcome back to another Spook Week video where today we are taking on some fun and fantastical crafts. Now this should be easy to do. And I stress that as much because this is a Circuit the World video. So what should be easy very quickly may not be easy. We are trying to make these fun, wonderful little wool polystyrene pumpkins. They are supposedly very easy to make. The one thing I have and must caveat that I've noticed I don't have are the sticks. I just have polystyrene balls and wool. I am so organized, my guys. It's me. What are you expecting? But these ones Mum made actually, and she came home and said they were really, really easy to do. So I thought, how hard could that be? I have had zero instruction apart from make a hole in the polystyrene ball, thread through the wool. So the things we have are polystyrene balls. We have these, I can show you here. We have these, which are, they're actually knitting needles. No, yes. When you've knitted a product and you need to sew the seams, these are, that's what I have these for, but I thought they'd probably be pretty good for this. I also have a chunky pumpkin boy, which we'll use as our kind of like finale, if indeed this works. I also have a bag full of wool, which I will be dipping into as we go. I also have lots of cameras. You see me here, you see me here. You can hopefully see what I'm doing with my hands. It's all fantastic, hopefully to give you a fantastic and wonderful viewing experience of what we're going on. I also have these sleeves, which were not a good choice for crafting, but we're gonna see how it goes because I like them. To try and pierce the holes, I have equipped scissors and a chopstick. This is the part I don't know how easy it's gonna be. I think I'm gonna start with, we've only got one really big polystyrene ball in here. So I think I'm gonna start with one of the like medium-y sized ones. Just to get an idea, hang on, this is gonna be horrible and loud. Just to kind of work out how easy it is to puncture the hole in. And I do this because, as I said, we've only got one of the very big ones and I don't want to ruin that. Also, two things. Firstly, be careful, okay? I'm a silly adult and even I have had strong indications from my mother, who is no longer here in the house with me at the moment, to be incredibly careful whilst doing this. She has a lot of faith in me, as I'm sure you guys do too. So please be careful. If you're a kid, somehow found this, do not do this. Get an adult to do this bit as we try and work out how this works. There was something else I was gonna say. I can't remember it. I'll think of it in a minute. Let's give this a go. So I am literally just going to stab this through. I have been instructed, and the only instructions I have is that this hole is quite important to be quite big. So now I have made my incision. We're now going to poke it with a chopstick because that feels like a good idea to me. And if I go kind of all the way through with the chopstick, because my chopstick gets bigger as we go. Oh, that is what I remember I was going to say. I have a dog, and dogs and pets and polystyrene, not a good combo. So if you do have pets, please be really careful doing this, because even these little things, they'll eat them, they'll expand in their stomach, it'll be a problem. Don't make your spooky season be tainted with a trip to A&E, and also don't risk your pets. So I'm going to go with, I'm assuming this is big enough. My thought process is, so long as I can get the wool. Ooh, actually, can you see how not big that hole is? I don't know if you can see it anywhere. You can kind of see me through it. I'm just going to put the chopstick back in and like do a little wiggle. Hello. Hopefully this is going to work. Right. We're gonna go with orange. Firstly, it's the first one I put my fingers on. Secondly, it's a pumpkin. It should be orange. Maybe I don't want to cut this first actually, because how will I know how much I need? Haha, she's smart. She's thinking before she's doing. I'm going with my medium-sized needle. Yes, there should be 3. No, there aren't 3, because I don't know where the third one is. And it was my smallest one. I don't know where it is. But the idea of using these needles is that they are equipped for taking on wool. Yes. So now that's in there, it should be as simple as thread the needle. And we go around Okay. Well, there's already a problem. Who's surprised? We've already stumbled into our first issue, which is the thread is stuck. And the more I tug this, the more polystyrene I'm going to break. What have I done? Where's my tail for my thing? Oh, I've somehow gone... Hang on, what have I done? I've somehow gone through the wool. That's why it's not moving. Should move now. There you go. So let's try and shorten this a bit. And let's just keep going. Okay, so the lessons being learned is once you've started, it really doesn't want to slide through. So you kind of have to pull a lot through. But that is working as intended. This is just going to take me a lot longer than I thought it would. Maybe we'll make just some baby pumpkins. This is in theory, it's going to work. That's how it works. I'm feeling good about it. I feel confident to move on to a bigger project. Let's go for the big one. Let's just do it. That's what you're here for. That's what we've all come to see. Not a massive fan of polystyrene, so this probably isn't the craft for me. All right, so same again. We're going to puncture the polystyrene. Puncture the polystyrene. And then we're going to, didn't clearly puncture the polystyrene. That's not straight. Okay, well, this is an interesting situation. So, like this I can't have to pull all of the thread through that I want to use first. Surely. I already foresee the problem because this is not big enough. And so as more thread goes through it, that space is going to get more and more filled. I also can't push my entire needle through here. Gravity won't help me. I actually do need it to be really big. Because otherwise, as the polystyrene, as the thread fills up the space, look, I know what I just tried to do, but it didn't work. I'm just making a polystyrene smoothie right now, BRB. You can kind of see through it now. Quite effectively, actually. There's quite a, I mean, I made an absolute mess, but that's quite a significant hole now. You can see all the way through that. So, yeah, we're going to go from here, and we're going to try again. Because now gravity will be my friend. Ready? Woo! My problem is here, like I want to just go again like this, but understandably as I do that, this thread is going to tighten. Aha, it's still coming through. Okay. Let's just go and let's just see what happens. You know, it's a bit of fun. We're learning as we go. Oh, see, I already have the same problem. Unless, no, I'm still going to have the same problem because it's just tightened again. You have to pull the whole thing through. It just doesn't feel right. I am so confused. And this is why you don't do things without having further instructions on what you're actually supposed to be doing. Because it doesn't make any sense. I can't pull the whole ball of wool through this. No, surely to God that's not right. Surely to God that's not right. Okay, bear with me, I'm thinking. I'm thinking out loud. We're going to have the same problem of having to pull all of this wool through. Okay, so I'm basically at the point now where I've pretty much covered the whole ball in wool. Which makes me be like, yep, that's as much wool, probably a bit more, than I need to cover the whole thing. So I'm gonna do this. And then what we're going to do is unravel all of this, because I've now got to sew it all in without getting myself in a knot. So now we have this situation. I've got to pull it all through without getting myself into a knot, which is going to happen almost instantaneously, I can tell you. I'm already getting cheesed off with this craft. We may be en route to a rage quit Alice here. This is not my kind of, I love knitting. I'll do the knitting all day long. This ain't it. Because I've now got to do this. Every single time. I can't think of any other way this is done. Can you see me regretting my life choices on my face yet? Is that visible? I really should have spoken to Mum more about this. She's gonna come in and she could be like, what are you doing? That ain't it. Or she can be like, yep, that's exactly how we did it. I should have told you. I'm like, yeah, you should have told me, because this is clearly not something I want to be doing. Okay, good news. Video might be saved. We have to call on the assistance of the person whom I should have probably asked more questions of, because as you saw, I got to a process where I was shoving all of this through and it was working for a bit, and now it's got knotted, and then I got frustrated, and then I stopped, and now hopefully you have some help. But I was right, this idea was ridiculous and not correct.
Other thing you do to make it easier,
less tedious and boring.
You need to get a knife. Do you have a knife?
No. You wouldn't trust me with a knife. Camera's looking down at the table.
Cut the bottom off like this. Because now it will stand up. You need to get lengths of wool. I do 10 at a time.
That's what I'm gonna do. Done with this.
And then tie on your ends on like this. And snip the ends so that you have a tidy knot.
Now we understand where I went wrong. So I have started again. I have now cut all of my wool to varying lengths because I got bored of that process. I have this, and we're about to cut off one end. We're going to cut off this end because this is the end I just messed up. So it sits and make more mess after we cleaned up. Not quite straight, but it sits. Wonderful, lovely. And then we're just going to take one of these lengths, which is much less painful than what we were doing earlier. And then put that through there. And the rest of the process is very much the same as what I was doing, apart from you have it in littler lengths, so it's less I want to blow my brains out boring. And hopefully a bit more fun. As we're coming to this last section here, it's become too hard to put the thingy through here. So actually what we're doing is just kind of sewing to the outside that's already there. No longer am I actually pushing it through, but like I'm just going to the top, sewing under here. Rather than going through the middle, because it's just become too hard to do so. But you can't really see where it's different. It's still the same effect on the edges. It's just like the bottom here looks a bit different and the top looks a bit different. But you'd like to know it's like that. You'd have to kind of know it's like that, like to look for it, if you get what I mean. And this is with the bottom anyway, so. So let's go to the bottom. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sew it off a little bit. So just push that through and then go through the center and pull it tight. And do that again, just to lock all that in place with a little knot. And then we take the satisfaction of cutting that off. Yay! I really like the little knobbly bits around it. It's very cool. Here's one I planned earlier. So I'm just gonna shove it in the top. Somehow. Okay, that's my purchase and it's stuck to my shirt. And then we'll just ta-da! So let's talk about it, because all in all, I actually quite like it and I really love the effect and I love how they look. And I think if you get a collection of them together and you have some different ones, they look very cute all together and it's very lovely and very picturesque, some different sizes. It's very cute. I'm gonna be straight with you. It's very long. Mum did this one, which is a slightly smaller one for a comparison. And she was only done about 10-15 minutes ago. So there's still, even the small ones take their time. You do have to be, I don't know if it's just because I wasn't expecting it to take this long, which is why I'm not enjoying this, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, if you put a film on or put a podcast on or some music, or I've got cricket on now, so I'm pretty happy. But just something on in the background whilst you're doing it, it doesn't feel as bad. And I think as well, when you get to the point where it is tough, don't be afraid to start doing the sewing around the edge. It may even be that if you can get like a base work, you could maybe weave it or a little bit or something like that, but I don't know. But all in all, relatively cheap, cute effect, very cool. I would recommend it. Just be aware of how long it's going to take, because it is a long task. But that is our fun little craft. We got there in the end, even if struggling a little bit at the start. Do let me know what you think of this, and if you give this a go, please do share, either tag me on Instagram or share them over on the Circle the Word Discord so I can see them, because I'd love to see what you create and how many different colors. Like, we had all of these different colors we could have gone for, and then you can make like this very nice little autumnal little pumpkin patch for your table or something. But for now, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's been an absolute blast as always. If you enjoyed this video, go show that like button some good old-fashioned love. And if you want to support the channel, go hit subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss next time I upload a video. Stay awesome, and I will see you all in the next video. I feel like I've got to go and ice my fingers now. That hurt. It does hurt your fingers.